Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk, guys. Welcome back and thanks for tuning in to this episode of World of Tanks. It is moi. I'm in my P.43TR Tier 7 Italian medium tank. I actually like this tank. I forgot how much I like this tank. It's interesting because it's a bit of a heavium. It is the Tier 7 equivalent of a E50 as far as I'm concerned. It's a big, large, pretty hard-hitting medium tank at Tier 7. In fact, it's dropping 240 alpha, which is pretty good at Tier 7. We are here on Redshire, so I'm going to Redshire. I'm going to go ahead and pause it because I think you already know where I'm going. This is a bit of a pick your own adventure. We're going to talk about, in particular, one tank, one friendly tank on this. I'm going to talk a little bit about learning wrong lessons and poor efforts, but also pick your own adventure. We spawned into the north. We're on encounter mode. Look at the rolls on each side. There's a 45 TP, a T29. We have a T29. P43 and a Saint Emil, plus a T25 and an SPIC at Tier 7, plus an artillery. They have a T45 3002 Challenger and 12244 plus an EBR and an artillery at top tier, so it's a two-tier battle. You are in the T29, the Saint Emil, the P43, that's me, or the T25. Where do you go? The Scout, I expect to go do scout things. I'm not as worried about where he goes as long as he's getting some lights. The MT's already got to a really nice spot up there. I mean, he just blitzed straight there. Where would you go? Where would you go in those tanks? Where would you go if you're my tank? Where would you go if you're the T29? You can see the T29 is following me. The T25 is behind the T29. Plus we have a KB1S. So let's let this go. Pick your own adventure. Where would you go? And why? Why would you go there? That's good to say. I find that the T45 is going this way. I kind of expected that. I get that information from the MT25. The Challenger is not. I kind of expected that too, although I would not have been surprised to see the Challenger come this way. The Dicker Max is coming forward. That surprised me a little bit. And because I'm a medium, I get here kind of firstest, the fustest with the mostest, and then, well, what's going on back here? All right. Remember, you're going to decide where to go with the T29. And the T25/2 and the Saint Emil and why. So I'm looking for what might be trying to come up. I saw the trees go down. I was hoping to spot it and give the artillery some shots. Looks like the ARL 44 is also coming this direction. Because I'm here so quickly, usually I go for a shot on that corner up there. But I don't have a lot of backup. So I don't really want them to know I'm there. And if 2 or 3 guys showed up, it looked like they're 45 TP, which is a relatively fast tank actually for a heavy. I didn't want him to show up and push me and hurt me. Now the T25 is in the back, hiding in the back. On this map, in this particular match, with the way we have set up, as far as I'm concerned, that T25 is another heavy. At least a medium. It's got a turret, it's got a good gun, and now we are engaged. So the T45, 45 TP, sorry, looks like he takes a hit. The KB1S derped him, maybe took something. No, he didn't take anything back. The 150 got hammered. And now we've got a T29 coming in, and I'm starting to feel like we got a bit of an advantage here. So I'm going to come around and look for a shot. He gets my engine, and I pop one into the 3002. The T29 goes around. I fix the engine, and all of a sudden the T29 is pushing in. And I think, oh, geez. All right, well, let's go up and around this way. The T29, is he going to get some damage? Well, now he's fighting multiple guys. He takes a big hit, takes another big hit, and just like that, 3 shots, and he's more or less down. Takes another hit. The 3002 fires very quickly. I want to get rid of this 45 TP if I can. I light him on fire. I'm probably going to eat a shot from 3002, but he ignores me. The turret is slowly coming around on him. Actually, no, he ignores me, and I get another shot, and we take him down. Not a bad start. We got the ARL. We lost our T29. I think we could have done that a lot more carefully. Now, I said pick your adventure. Where would you have gone with the T25? What would you be doing with the T25 right now? He might be shooting the T50-2, but what would you be considering as the T25 right now? Right? The T29 is out of the game. You don't get to pick your adventure. I hope your adventure with him was not to drive straight around the corner and get wiped out. I think we could have done this same thing without him driving out into the open right there. We could have pincered the 45 TP and maybe even beat up the 3002. But that's not going to happen. He just drove around. However, look at the T25/2. So I've got 937, got the 3002 there, and now I'm trying to figure out how we're going to deal with these guys. We have a big problem over on the other side, on the west side. KB1S and myself go in, and then of course I get absolutely hammered by artillery for 223. Makes a lot of sense. We'll hit him. There's a 250. That's nice. The KV-1S is coming around looking for a shot. Reload is a bit long on this. Now the depression is not working out for me very well here either. I don't quite have what I want. And now I'm thinking there's two of us fast loading Artie. We're about to get hit by Artie again. So I decide, you know what? Let's stop poking on this guy. We'll go look for something else. So we'll back out of this. And I'll run into a rock. KV-1S has the same idea. He decides probably not really worth sitting there and getting hammered. Come around this way and see what we can find. Now remember, it was pick your adventure with the T-25. These guys are starting to gain an advantage on us. It's 5-6. We did okay on this flank. The other flank is pretty much hurting, and look what the T-25 is doing. He finally starts to think about moving because there's lights, right? All of a sudden there's lights. The mill gets that guy. That was a good shot by him. I'm checking 6. The KV-1S is kind of my canary in the coal mine right there. And we'll continue to look for shots. Just working around here, trying to, there goes a 30-45. That's good, so now things are looking a lot better. And then we lose our Su-100. And it's 7-7. Come back around into here, and I'm thinking, I wonder if that 3002 is starting to feel a little bit sprightly. Maybe he's going to come in, so I'll come up here and let me see if I can get any lights. I'll kind of peek up. No, don't see anything. I also wonder if I am going to get lit. I should be relatively covered up by artillery, even if there's a light tank down there that sees me. So that's just trying to see if maybe that 50-2 is lurking around just below there, but it doesn't seem to be, or I didn't come forward and over the hill quite enough for him to see me. KV-1S gets a shot on the 3002, who has poked around and does a nice job and backs out. So I'm going to come around this way and see if I can get a shot on him as well. Artillery goes in. I'm just going to take a chance, go right around. We find him. There we go. Go around this way. Unfortunately, he snaps one off. His turret is just a little bit too slow, and I'm able to kill him, and then we'll run off this way. And now there's a 150 that showed up. So here he comes. A little bit of a sellout right there. I wish I hadn't really done that. But the good news is, I don't know what he hit. He may have hit the KV-1S. Put a shot on him. I'm hoping the KV-1S can... Oh, that hurt. 78 from the Artie and the KV-1S, and we help double team. All right, pick your own adventure. What is the T-25/2 doing? We are in the scrap for our life down here. The scrap for our life getting pushed. I'm just sitting here imagining, had the T-25/2 been here the whole time, we would absolutely have cleaned up. We'd have cleaned their clocks on this flank, which is kind of my point from the very beginning of the Pick Your Own Adventure and discussing a little bit about deployment, analyzing the tank roles, and understanding your position and what you need to do on the team. Because there's so many misperceptions out there in this game about, well, I'm in a TD, so what TDs do is they get in the back and they hide in a bush. That I'm a TD. Well, not really. Not in a T-25/2 standpoint. On a match like this, as top tier, with a great situation, I would have driven that T-25/2 with its great gun and turret right up into here and helped this P-43 TER, this KV-1S, and used to did be the T-29 before he moored it out, and of course the 150 who also died. But had we all been up here, we'd have been doing some great work. If it was a case of we got pushed hard and he was back there and farmed a bunch of damage, that would have been fantastic. And even if it was a case of he went there initially and then realized we were winning and pushed up, but he did none of that other than to sit back for a while and never get a shot. Okay. One of the reasons I also named this Learning Wrong Lessons is we're going to get to that in the game later on about actually how this thing ends. But let's go ahead and keep going, because it's myself and the KV-1S, and the Artie somehow manages to get a 125 on me with a frickin' splash on the corner. Just an absolute joke, that game mechanic, that I can be hiding behind all this cover and still getting splashed from the red line. All right. So now we're trying to figure out, all right, what's going on here? KV-1S, myself, I'll come back up here. Something's going to happen here that I didn't expect. You've got to sort of watch out for that in a world of tanks, because that will often happen. that will often happen in games. With humans playing, things are going to happen that will surprise you. Because if you look at what's left, what I'm really concerned about is the T50-2. That's the guy I want to try to find. There's one guy on there that's way more dangerous than him, and maybe you guys can see him. Look at the enemy rolls over there. The one tank over there that would be super dangerous. Now this one would be bad enough, but he's slow, right? He has a hard time. He's got 0 camo. He's just a giant monster of a tank. This he's driven out into the open for some reason. He's getting absolutely hammered by everything. Now I get lit and he's dead. I'm going to back out, and oh my gosh, look at that. Lucky snap. I'll take it. That's the guy I was worried about the most. I was very surprised that he actually, and then he just tracks me, which is amazing. I get a shot on him, but I'm out of a kit. Actually, that's amazing. Did I just blow that? Maybe I did. Yep, the kits. See, I did blow that. What? Look at the kit. It is just about to be redone. I get away with it. I'm coming at this. He gets a tracking shot on me in the kit. I swing around, I fire, and then I don't see that the kit has come back to me, and I could have fixed my track. So that is a total mistake on my part, and I get killed by that guy. That's actually interesting. I didn't notice that until about the 3rd time I watched this thing. Hugely important right there. I could have survived this. So that is a huge mistake on my part. All right, but now we got the T25/2 still sitting in the back, making no effort. Already goes in there. I've got 2,907 damage. Myself and I believe the KV-1S died. Where did he go? Yeah, he fell all the way back. I didn't realize that he ran away. And now it's up to the KV-1, the T25/2 and the SU-100. And of course I get salty because I'm up there trying to win this game and nobody is coming to help. Where is the cavalry? And there he is. I'm a TD. I get into bushes. I'm a TD. He eventually ends up winning the game. He finally gets out there and helps us do it. But just imagine, if you will, pick your own adventure, if he had actually come to that flank and helped out. If he had actually come to that flank and helped out, we probably win this very easily. If at any point during that he came forward and helped me with a turreted tank and decent mobility and a pretty good gun, we probably win this pretty handily. We handle the 122-44 more than likely because there's 2 guns there and he's not going to be able to fight both of us with a casemate. So every time somebody, and the 25/2 is going to win, and I would imagine he feels pretty vindicated because, like, hey, I saved my hit points. I lasted to the end. I was able to pull this close one out because my silly team. But I'm going to show you the cards at the end and who did damage and and how much. His damage is at the end of the game, and I'm not going to discount the importance of him being alive because he helps largely to pull this thing out. But the question is always for me, okay, fine, you pulled it out, kind of like the video earlier today. You pulled it out, but what could have happened if you had been any kind of better at positioning, at reacting to the flow, at reading the battle, and helping your team out? If you had been any kind of better than that. I saw a forum post from somebody who was talking about they were about a 1900 win 8. Recent, they had a 1600 overall. They had very low battle count, but they were running a 46% win rate. And they were talking about running scouts. And they were saying, how come I can't get wins? And then they went on to say, I hang out. If things start going sideways, then I farm damage. And saying the standard stuff about how it's not their fault and it's all the team. And they're able to crank out a pretty good win 8, but they're doing nothing to help the team. That's very similar to what's going on right here. This guy has not done anything really to help the team till the end, till he's sort of forced to, pushed into the corner and trapped like a rat. When you're in a tank like that, in a situation like this, you're going to have to change. You don't have to. You can play the way he played, obviously. If you want to increase that win rate, if you want to be more involved in your win rate, you've got to analyze the match a little better and realize that in this case you were really at one of our heavies. You were, in this case, in this particular match, you were actually one of our heavies, and you needed to go to the purple place and do purple things with that, what was essentially a heavy, a turreted T25/2. He needed to throw out the idea that I'm in a turret and I hide in bushes, and realize that I'm top tier and a pretty darn good tank for this match. And had I just gone to the purple place and helped Guido do purple things, would have been an easy win instead of this kind of cliffhanger nail biter that it ended up being. So there you go. I'm kind of curious. Let me know down below what you decided when it was pick your own adventure and you looked at the lineup, where you would have gone. Does anybody disagree? Do you think he should have sat in the back, maintained his hit points, and then let losers like Guido up there die who are in people's faces? Here's what's very interesting. The tank that almost won it for them was the 122-44, who got into action a little bit earlier than the T25/2 did. There was a couple lucky things, and then one buffoonerous act on my part where I maybe would have been able to beat him or at least last longer. But those kind of canceled themselves out. I got that lucky shot snap as I descended. He actually missed a shot in there that probably should have hit. The tracking shot probably should have killed, but it only tracked. All of that kind of thing. Obviously, it's always not a question of whether you got lucky, but what you do with it. But really, his move up forward to try to take me out at my low hit point state was the thing that almost got it for him. It almost won it for him, which is a good example of a player looking at that and going, "Ooh, I have to do something." Imagine had he been there earlier on that team. So let's reverse the roles. Imagine he had actually pushed up with his tanks up there and taken me on and the KV-1S. I think they win that pretty easily, actually, unless they come around the corner too much and get hit by the 25/2. But at the very least, we'd have been a lot more hesitant to take those tanks on with a 122-44 sitting there trying to smash us in the face with his 390 Alpha. All right, guys, curious what you think. Let me know down below. Thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate the support of the channel. If you're looking for other ways to support me, throw me a follow, subscribe, whatever you want, and there's lots of other ways down in the description. We will see you.